A webinar participant asked me, how do we test our assumptions in a low traffic environment? Basically, they work at a company where their product is seasonal and they're out of season. We can think of a lot of examples of this, like how do you test your tax software when it's not tax filing season? Or if you offer a service related to the holidays, how do you test that when it's not the holidays? This is a great question because we often, for a lot of these companies, they're not doing product changes during their season because it's high risk. And so they're doing a lot of their development when they're out of season. But the challenge is, how do we find people to test with? This is really similar to when you're an early stage startup and you don't yet have customers to test with. So I wrote an article all about how to do continuous discovery in an early stage startup before you have customers. I'll link to that in the post. But here's the idea. You need to go to where your customers are. So if your customers aren't currently coming to you because you're out of season, you need to go to where they hang out. So subreddits, LinkedIn groups, Facebook groups, trade conferences. You want to think about when it's not, for example, tax season, where do CPAs hang out? Or where do individual business owners, if that's your target segment, right? You need to think about where do they hang out and you want to go to them. The second thing you can do is you can pull people to you. So you can set up a landing page, you can run ads. You're going to have to think about a creative hook to get them to engage with you when it's out of season. But there's lots of ways to also pull them to you, even though they might not be using your product or service. I shared details about both these strategies in that startup article that's linked in the post. So be sure to check that out. But I'm also curious to hear from you. What has been your experience with testing assumptions in low traffic environments? Be sure to share your best tips in the comments below.